Hey, it's Captain Matt, Boat Buyer's Secret Weapon, and we're talking about used boat buying secrets. So these are things that as a used boat buyer, you may not even think about that should be an issue. Now, the first one is that every used boat, I don't care if it's a model year old and it's only got 10 hours on it, every used boat has some red flags, as I call it in my Boat Buyers Academy. It's got red flags because there's a ding, there's a nick, there's something that isn't working the way it was designed to work. As you get older and older, there's probably some wiring issues. There might be some structural issues. You might have some tears in the canvas or the upholstery, seams coming apart. But every boat has a red flag, and it's your responsibility to find every single one so that you know exactly what you're buying. You know the price that you're paying is worth what you're getting. Doesn't mean you need to walk away from them, but find them all so that you can make a good choice. This Boat Buyers Toolkit, it's free at boatbuyerstoolkit.com. It's a great tool to help you find those. Not every red flag is equal. A ding, some spider cracking that's not structural damage, some discoloration, some oxidation on the hull. Hey, that's all cosmetic. I'm fine giving up the money saving for some cosmetic blemishes. But you may have, they've JB welded something on the block that's split, and well, that's a pretty big issue that I might want to run away from that boat. Next is you never want to buy a boat without running it first. Do a sea trial, do a demo. We've got our demo checklist in this toolkit. Another secret, never, ever, ever buy a boat without doing a sea trial. I don't care what the boat is, how new it is, how great it looks, how good of guy the person seems that's selling it. Just don't do it. There's too many issues that can happen on a boat that you can't identify until you put it in the water. Has the boat overheated and there's low compression? Are the bellows leaking and it's taking on water? Does it sit too low in the water, indicating that maybe the foam has got saturated on the center consoles and the scuppers are now below water? There's so many things that you just can't tell. The pumps working, are they not working? How does it run under load? How does it handle rough water? You cannot figure those things out unless you put the boat in the water. So if it's December and you're in the Midwest, well, you just don't buy that boat until you can put it on the water and run it. There's always going to be another one. So just put the brakes on that one and wait till you can get on the water. If the seller doesn't want to do a sea trial, I don't want to give people just joy rides, then you should walk away from that boat, because there's always going to be a new one, because you just don't know what's being hidden. And running it on the hose in the driveway does not give you the same level of confidence as putting the boat in the water and running it under load. Some sellers, even some dealers, they'll hide flaws. So some of them may not even know that there's a flaw, but there are ways that you can sort of mask things being wrong with the boat. So one is, if you're getting water in the gear lube or the oil, well, you just change that oil right before somebody comes to look at the boat, and you don't let them sea trial, or you don't encourage them to check the oil after the sea trial. The oil looks great when they check it. The froth and the milkshake doesn't happen until the boat's run on the water, and by that point they're so excited they buy the boat. Well, you can hide it that way. A little JB weld on a block that's cracked because it didn't get winterized properly. If it's kind of in the back, they might not even notice. I know this every year. I get an email or two from subscribers telling me, Matt, I just bought a boat and it's leaking. It's running hot. I just found the JB weld after looking a little bit more closely. Listen, most people, I believe, are honest people, but you've got to protect yourself from the ones that aren't. So as Ronald Reagan would say, trust but verify. Hey, look through that entire engine. Look for those little signs. Look for little rust. Look for discolorations, because that's the ones that are going to get you. Change the fluid just before the inspection. We talked about that. That's another kind of way to hide those flaws. If you buy a boat that's kind of in that 5 to 12-year-old range, and there's some advantages to financing if you're newer than 10 years, but some of the best values are in that range. Just after the warranty expires to about 12 years old, a boat that's been well taken care of, it's got a ton of life left in it, but you can really get a 50% discount or more in some of those situations. So if you're looking for reliable, but a great value, I would kind of look in that age range. Not too old, but not too new, and that's where you'll find the sweet spot. Next is if you've got a boat that's a year old, it can still have major problems. The gel coat looks nice, the upholstery looks beautiful, everything looks brand new. You're like, and it's a fraction of what I can get a brand new one for. It's still got some warranty left on it. But if they, sucked up a plastic bag and that engine overheated, well, it could have low compression. If they didn't winterize it properly, it could have a cracked block. It could have some major issues. Maybe they ran into a stump their first time out and they bent the prop shaft. Just because it looks amazing on the exterior doesn't mean mechanically that boat sounds. So be very cautious of those great boats that seem almost too good to be true. And just because it's really new and has warranty doesn't mean you can just breeze on through and don't need to inspect anything. You still need to do that same level. If you've ever bought a boat and got in a tough situation, kind of got screwed, put that in the comment. Let's share your experience so other people don't have to go through it. And make sure you grab this toolkit, boatbuyerstoolkit.com. You'll be glad you did. It's totally free, and there's some other great values that come with that as well. And remember, life truly is better on a boat.